watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the June 25th meeting for the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. We're going to call the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission for Wednesday, June 25th at 4 p.m. to order. If everybody please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mary Jane.
Sure.
Adam Karonka,
Present.
John Carr,
Here.
Scott Cooley,
Here.
Tom Fath,
Present.
Randy Novak,
Present.
Mark Parkman, Connie Grammarosa,
Present.
Jennifer Farley.
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any questions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Public comment. Public comment is now open. Anybody from the public that would like to speak? Anybody from the public? Public comment is now closed. Approval of the minutes from our last meeting.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Is there any questions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on, treasurer's report.
The treasurer's report is as follows. US 421 TIF number 1, the balance is $173,458. US 421 allocation area 2, the balance is $97,638. KIDC TIF, the balance is $76,909. 39 North TIF, the balance is $21,884.
Thank you.
End
Mary
of
Jane.
treasurer's report, other than I would like to ask permission of two things. One announcement, the Love's Travel Center payment came into yesterday or today, Mitch, and that doesn't appear on here, but it will show next month. And then we have a bank account with U.S. Bank, which is the 421 TIF construction account, which has 32 cents in it. I would like a motion and permission to close that bank account because it's no longer needed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to close it. Put that in our account.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
I'll transfer it. I think it's going to
Spend it
cost us
all.
more
It's going to cost
get
more
it.
money to send 32 cents than 32 cents. Yeah, so. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
And that's the end of the treasurer's report if you want to adopt that.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on to claims. We have KIDC TIF, MCR Partners for $1,000. Guy DiMartino May Legal Services for $1,500, and Sender Dalton Financial invoice 11659 in the amount of $140 for a total of $2,640.
Motion to approve. Second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions on KIDC? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next one is 421 MCR Partners June invoice for $4,000. NIPSCO electric service in the amount of $87.57, and then NIPSCO also in the amount of $33.87, and then Sender Dalton same invoice 11,659 in the amount of $140 for a total of $4,261.44.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions on those? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? 39 North MCR Partners in the amount of $1,000. Harold Argus Dispatch for publishing the claims in the amount of $26.81, and Senator Dalton in the amount of $140 for a total of $1,166.81.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. I do have a, well, I'll ask for that under TIF thing, so we're good. Moving on, old business, 421 I-94 TIF, Matt Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. President, Commission members. As Mary Jane pointed out, we did receive payment for Loves. That was, as you recall, to provide the requested Generac for the pump station for the extension of utilities provided as part of the expansion project. So that's been taken care of. There is a question that came up today on a project on 300 North with Michigan City. We're going to sort out with their project engineer. There's some questions about being able to have connectivity to these mains and lines for commercial. Now, I think this board is aware that the whole purpose of extending the utilities south of the interchange was not to do a bunch of residential development, and that the residents on 950 was kind of a happy accident that they were able to connect. So we're going to continue to work with Michigan City to figure this out so that the investment that they're looking at 300 North can continue. Mitch, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No. That about covers it.
Have you, has the generator come in?
We just got receipt payment. We didn't order it.
I was just wondering, Guy, do you?
No, it
I
has
didn't-
not.
No.
I know it's on order. I didn't think it had been.
Yeah, I guess just expound on that a little bit. So I did receive a phone call from New Tech, and also Tony Hendricks. I guess he's involved with New Tech as well. And basically, what came up, like you said, there's a not gravity but pressure main in that area. And my understanding is when the new GM, I believe Al Wallace, came back to the Michigan City Sanitary District, they signed at will, so able to serve the business. That all went through. That was under Chris Zagowski when he was there, and my understanding is they rescinded that recently. So, not allowing them to hook up and stating that any commercial development or uses aren't allowed to hook up to the main, the pressure main along 300 North. This is all news to me. So usually what you do is a grinder pump and would be all that's needed, or a check valve. I'm not sure. This is all news, so like Matt said, we got to follow up on it. Because, anywhere east of basically New Tech there, that's all pressure.
Right.
So everything west, it's all gravity. The Loves, of course, is all on gravity, and anything west of there. So this is all news. We had a will serve letter that was signed. I actually drafted it, gave it to Chris. He got it signed. New Tech signed it, and everything was good to go. This was 6-8 months ago. And then all of a sudden, on the blue, I get a phone call today that says, no good. I called Al Wallace, left a message, and never received a call as yet.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it is.
I'm sure we'll get it worked out.
Yeah, there'll be an engineering solution to this. Like Mitch mentioned, it's bad news when I'm talking about engineering stuff, I can tell you that, but it's a check valve and a grinder pump, so there's backflow preventer, and that's how it'll work. I'm sure they'll get it figured out. The hotel is getting close to being buttoned up. I'll be sure to send out a press invite for their open house when it happens to everybody who participated in that. There's continued interest by Ascend to facilitate a data center at the interchange. They're working on that. I connected them with NIPSCO. They're doing their own thing. Hopefully they can get it worked out and figure out who's going to invest $100 million in power to get it out there, and we're rooting them on. And that's it for 421 and 94. Anybody else have anything else? Bailey? Carlton? Nope.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to KIP.
The KIP. We're almost here. It's 20 years in the making, the roadway situation. So we do have the documentation. The attachments, the legals to get the roads. We'll work this month. We'll make sure we work through our attorney to be sure we're doing everything on the legal side to get easements for those roadways, and then we can go on from there. I mean, we started conversation already with the EDA as a opportunity, so we'll see where that starts and finishes. But also on so that'll be ongoing through the next month. I'm sure we'll send those out and hopefully get all positive responses, so we don't have to not do roads or not figure out a schedule to do that. We'll work with some local engineering firms to get a better number of what it really would look like. Some of those road bases are pretty substantial there anyway, so we got to figure out what it really is. I'd be more comfortable than guessing 3 to 6. I'd rather have it to be a little more precise. So we'll keep working on that. Kingsbury continues to be a focal point for several types of projects, from power generation to data to manufacturing, and we continue to market those with that. Carlton will, in the coming month, upgrade our social media presence for Kingsbury. If you search what's the largest industrial parks in Indiana, so mysteriously Kingsbury comes up there like right at the top. I don't know how that works, but somehow it worked. Well, the truth of the matter is it is a large industrial park. It's zoned industrial and manufacturing, and it's a good target for a lot of these projects. So we're going to really turn that over and turn up the burners on that. And so that'll also be part of the website improvements.
Any update on the rail easement?
But
I'd rather,
No?
still,
All right.
there's still some issues that we're sorting out with Markman Pete and Mr. Bigi. I just had a discussion with him today. This is,
We anticipate an answer at our next meeting.
it's either that or we're going to be going back and saying we're going to have to take another route.
I'm going to stick with we anticipate an
Yes.
answer at our next meeting.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
I know that he has a meeting Tuesday with a lawyer by phone. So
Stay tuned.
yes, the roadway situation will continue irrespective of the rail easement. We're going to keep going. We're not going to wait for that.
Got it. 39 North, Matt?
It's there.
Hasn't moved.
Hasn't moved. No, as you can see, they're continuing with the senior living center, and I think the redevelopment commission members recall the invite for the groundbreaking. They're doing a good job. They're doing what they're supposed to. They're doing a good project. I know that the city, and Jerry's back there if you want to check him after the meeting, but I know they're continuing with the water improvements that are necessary out there, and that should be a really nice development corridor that the city is partnered with and taken the leadership on in the city of LaPorte to do those things. It's, as you all know, it was critical to be able to do more development in that area. I'm going to stay up here.
That's it?
No, one more. New business.
New business.
I'm going to go back to the old new business from the last meeting, 35 and 20. So there's still and was a continued interest to develop this hotel product or in and around the Serenity Springs site. Cobblestone Hotels of Wisconsin is the entity. So where we're at now is that we're going to have to do a land swap where we had requested property that is owned by the Indiana Department of Transportation, and they said we need the property for service and laydown. So one of the owners of this area has another piece of property. We're going to try to get a swap going where the more valuable property where INDOT is right now can be used for this development, and the other property can be used by INDOT. And there's a whole process, as you can guess, related to all that kind of stuff, but that's where we're at. There's still an interest by them to do the project. I think it's a good spot. I appreciate the positive attitudes from the developers about getting a partnership with Michigan City to extend water and sewer, and we'll continue to work on that. As the board knows, about a year ago worked on a study that talked about continuation of this, and then that got bogged down into some politics related to property annexation and having to sign waivers of not fighting annexation. So we're kind of in a more of a political mode, not on the county side, and less of a project mode. As this group knows, we like to be in the project mode, not the political mode. But we'll continue to work on that. That's all I have.
What about, let's go back to, if I can, old business, KIP, the expansion of KIP. Where are we at with that? We were talking about expanding that TIF out along 35.
We have all the
We had
properties.
a request by somebody. It's
Yeah,
not.
we have all the properties ready to go. If you would like, I could bring that information and the amendment to I think it's the second amendment to the Kingsbury plan to the next meeting. It'll have an increased map and it'll have the legal.
I think that'd be good.
Okay. Bailey, got that? Because we do have all the information ready to go. Is there, we could talk about it. If there's a name project, it'll be easier for us to, as a team, to put together the budget and the increase in assessed value that may happen as a result of a specific project. So if you know of anybody, then we can figure that out and write it down.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
One other quick question about
Yes, sir.
KIP. As we enter into early negotiations with different companies, we talk about the needs and wants of the entities that may want to enter into that area, and as they pass, are we getting any feedback as to what it is that's there that's not desirable or not there that is necessary in order to help support further growth out there?
Depends, but yes and no. We have a general idea. Some of the bigger projects that are more involved in manufacturing, it is a power-related issue
Okay.
and a cost and a timeline. Some of the projects that go there, it is a water and sanitary related issue and capacity to do so, and that's sometimes that.
Some of them need very high volume.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
massive.
Kingsbury was not designed to be an industrial wastewater water facility. It was designed for 5,000 people to flush bathrooms and go to, take showers. So that's the situation out there.
Right.
It would be extraordinarily expensive and probably detrimental to the existing ratepayers and within their service territory to do anything substantially, which is why, as a body, we've always talked about financially participating with tax increment to help make those improvements, to get the new investments in, to keep growing the projects. So that's it. I mean, it isn't land. There's that.
Yeah.
It isn't zoning. There's
What
that.
about- What about the infrastructure, the
The roads?
access in and out?
Well, I politely let people know that as a part of their new project, we'll be happy to redo the roads into their facility. So again, it ties back into the new tax increment that would be available. But to answer your question, yeah, it needs to look better. It doesn't show well, to be honest with you.
And I know there's basically only one entry into the park.
That's it.
That's off of 35, but what about on like the eastern part of the park? Because all the development in New Carlisle, I mean, I don't know if there's ways to create access coming in from the eastern part of the park or what, but with all the development in New Carlisle, I think that could, be something that could potentially be looked at.
So we have good suggestion. I appreciate it. We've been looking for alternative access, ingress, egress to that whole facility over time. So we're working with a senator's office, one of them, to help facilitate that. I know Mervan's been here to talk about getting the land and having a secondary access point. And Senator Young's office.
Senator
correct?
Young came in to see us, and we talked to him as well about exiting
We're
to
kind of looking,
6.
John, we're kind of looking at that. There should be a secondary access in there. So we're going to continue to pursue that, but nothing immediate. Nothing jumps out. I know at one point we talked about just continuing Hupp and then going out the back way, and then they're like, nope, can't do that. We're like, why can't we do that? So it's through the DNR property and the shooting range and whatever the heck else they have going on back there. So you can't get back there. I mean, at one point it was open.
Sometimes it is open. You can drive through there.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on who's moving what and what farmer's doing what, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why it's open and why it's not. But it's not a commercially advertised ingress and egress to the property. But if it was, it connects to another state road that gets you into a facility, so you're not, traversing where you don't have to, and you don't have to go around and hit 6 to 35. So it all makes sense. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get it accomplished.
Any updates on the grant that we applied for cleaning up that property? Is that still?
We did not receive the grant.
Okay.
No grant money.
So we're back to.
Well, there's an interested party to buy it. So I have to further my discussion with them to see what type of funding they're talking about, what type of money they're talking about spending for it. If there's not an interest to pay an appraised value, then we're back to get to appraisals, offer the property, wait 30 days, and then negotiate directly with them. Plus that we want to know what the other party may want to do with the property. So,
Right.
And if we can sell that property and it becomes their responsibility to demo and move and do, we're all for that.
Just so
That's worth the
everybody knows,
trade-off.
the county owns I think a 40-acre parcel
Yeah,
that has old buildings that are fallen in and have
they're old buildings. They just don't have roofs.
questionable content. So
Yeah, not so great.
yeah.
It's old.
Yeah.
But there's some people interested, so that's better than nobody
All right.
interested. Well, since you brought that up, I did have a conversation based off of the suggestion of Commissioner Grammarosa was to reach out regarding the Superfund site. So we got a bunch of information back. Basically, there's deed restrictions for the parcels out there. There's plumes that are still being tested, and the property is for sale. There's multiple property owners out there. It's not a situation where the federal government owns it, which is different than the 1,000 acres we're trying to procure from the feds that own property further to the south of where the Superfund is. So it's available, but it's not great. And they also sent me some documentation related to the Superfund lawsuit. And my specific question was, are there other properties intertwined with this Superfund lawsuit? And to their knowledge, and these are the trustees who have been engaged with this for whatever number of years, however long this has been going, 25, 30. Because I was asking about the 750 acres on the north side of Hub. You have Travis Ditch, and then you got 750, and then you have JBC. So we have tried to get that over the years, and at one point we had understood that was part of the Superfund settlement, but they didn't have any direct knowledge about it. So I would like to see it written down somewhere.
Right.
I mean, it's just a suggestion that they maintain green space. I'd argue that there's 5,000 acres of green space out there already, and this is productive. This can be productive property. I mean, there are people that have tried to buy it over the years, and they just can't get at it. They're going to continue that process. I would like to get an answer. Can we have this, or can we get it, or can we buy it? And the previous answer was no. It's tied up in relation to the Superfund lawsuit, but also there's the Indiana brown squirrel. I'm like, okay, great. I can do something about that, but I can't undo what somebody agreed to with a lawsuit that's 30 years old.
Right. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Any other business? Oh, no.
I know, 2 in a row. Carlton Bishop representing BAC Marketing. So we're actually going to be doing the website, not the social media, just so that gets in the minutes. And I guess from Office of LaPorte County Economic Development, we are still in talks with New Carlisle, and looks like we're going to try to schedule for July. So we're going to get that together, communicate with them. Regarding water, because again, we have access to water across the county line that is coming from New Carlisle. So we'd like to talk about development there. Like I said, we have an animal clinic down there and a couple things. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other business? Hearing none?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.